What's going on, Flyers fans, and welcome back to Clear the Ice, the Flyers postgame show here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy Matty B on the call, and a huge, great, fun, energetic, character-type win again by your upstart Flyers tonight. 3-2 in overtime, a weird overtime, one of the weirdest overtimes I've seen in a long time. Multiple penalties in that overtime, Flyers killing one and taking advantage as they scored 2 power play goals in a single game. Stop the presses. 2 for 4 tonight on the power play. Travis Konecny joins a list of Flyers elites, scoring his 200th goal in the career as a Flyer. Sam Ersson does enough. God damn, I don't like him as a goalie. And we're going to talk about a couple of the goals that he did give up tonight. Does well. You know, Flyers defense was stout in front of him, kept the shots off of him. Rick Tocchet's new defensive philosophy, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the Flyers are really paying attention to protecting the front of that net, trying to push everything out to the perimeter, and it has seemed to have worked well for this young Flyer team so far through this young part of the season. Offensively, you know, I mean, the Flyers are what they are. They're not full of offensive power, but they got consistent power tonight. Again, Konecny, Brink, and then the overtime goal to help them seal it on the power play, man. Just a great win tonight. A great win tonight by the Flyers as they now move to 5-3-1 on the season. And welcome back to the Clear the Ice program here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Just a little sneak peek of what's in store for you for the rest of this week. You had locks, locks, and parlays earlier tonight. You got me. Tomorrow, you got the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with the final word. And then on Thursday, Gridiron Weekly, more Clearing the Ice, and then more final word. Nothing on Friday. And then Saturday, you got some Happy Valley huddling and some more Clearing the Ice. And that is your kind of rest of the week in a glance there for the for this weekend. So let me see here. What is going on here? What is going on? Why am I seeing something wrong here? Yeah. All right. So I don't know what's going on. I'm getting a weird kind of vibe here. But anyway, that's the rest of your weekend or rest of your week in a glance here on the network. But let's focus in on this game here tonight. Flyers, I guess they're very red hot. What are they, 7-2-1 or something like that coming into this season? The Penguins really defying the odds, defying Father Time to start the year. A lot of people, and I was one of them, that thought the Penguins are on the front stages of actually not the front stages of a decline, but the front stages of a rebuild. They ran it back one more time with Malkin and Crosby. You know, there was some concerns there. I mean, I'm not concerns from me, but was that the right decision to do this with the Penguins? But so far, so good for the Penguins to start the season. But tonight, you know, the red hot Penguins ran into the red hot Flyers. You got to give them some credit too. Joe House is a great victory. Ben don't break mentality. Don't say that, Joe. I don't like that. Ben don't break nonsense. But let's get into this game here. Sam Ersson, as I mentioned, got the nod tonight in net for the Flyers. Dan Vladar has kind of been taken on as the de facto. I mean, basically, he is the de facto starting goalie here. But Ersson got the start tonight for the Flyers. In net for the Pittsburgh Penguins, you had what was it? R2. What is his name? Arturas Silvos. He got the start for the Penguins tonight. The Flyers, they did enter the game with a couple of healthy scratches. Let's talk about them. Flyers tonight, healthy scratch. Adam Ginning, Emil Andre, Nikita Gurbankin for the Penguins. It was Connor Clifton, Philip Tomasino, and Harrison Brunick were also the healthy scratches for the Penguins in this game. The reason why I'm confused, it's really confusing because I'm looking on I'll tell you guys later. It's just really confusing what I'm looking at right now. But let's get into this thing. The Penguins would get things rolling first early on at the at the 10:19 mark of the first period. Justin Brazeau is having himself a great start to the season. His 6 from Mantha and Dumba to give the Penguins the 1-0 lead. Let's bring that goal up. This is what I mean about Sam Ersson. And, of course, this was about halfway through the period, so halfway through the game. And when you score a goal like this, I immediately go to the doom and gloom because I just am not a big fan of Ersson. But, you know, he did enough tonight. But let's talk about this goal. Let's bring it up. Here we go. There it is. So let's pick up the play. Penguins coming out of their zone right now as they'll do a nice clean little break. There's your goal scorer right here. He's going to come across center ice. And just a really innocent little pass into onto him. Now, a little bit of a defensive situation. Again, as I said, the philosophy around Rick Tocchet has been to protect the front of the house. And I'm down with that. So the Flyers are kind of in a soft defensive strategy here. Connecting a little late getting over and a little bit of a half-ass move to kind of pick up the man as he does a kind of a swoop sort of, you know, swim move type play and easily gets around Konechny. But still, even in this situation, he's got a beeline to the net, but it's off to the angle. It's off on that dot side. We've talked about this on these post games before. Everything from the dot to the wall is considered bad ice in hockey. It's meaning it's that low scoring percentage area of the ice. And so even though Konechny gets beat, he still pushed him wide enough. And the Flyers got really good defensive coverage in front of Ersson. It's all about Ersson right now. And they've given Ersson a good opportunity and put him in a good position to make the save. Ersson's a little too soft on this play. Kind of slides over, and I don't know. This is a Sam Ersson in a nutshell right here. These kind of goals, man. Doesn't get his body completely against that post. Goes down a little bit, again, soft. Just a soft goal given up by Ersson at the 10:19 mark of the first period. This is not what you want to see. This is definitely not what you want to see to get the game rolling. A soft goal given up by Ersson. And I'm not going to say the Flyers. Not saying that. I already went through some of the kind of defensive configurations there. He was pushed out to bad ice. Konechny was late coming over. Kind of a half-ass move. But he kept him wide. Kept Brazeau wide. And the Flyers had everything in front of the net for a rebound covered. It was just a low percentage scoring opportunity, a one-on-one opportunity against Ersson. And Ersson just plays it soft. And I hate those goals, man. I honestly cannot stand goals like that. I don't think goals like that have a place at this level of hockey. But the Penguins end up getting the goal, getting on the board. But it was short-lived because the Flyers would strike at the back end of the first period, 17:25 mark. On the power play, Bobby Brink, his third of the year from Cates and Zegras. And let's bring that bad boy up. It's great to see this goal, obviously, because it's a power play goal. Now, there's nothing spectacular about this power play goal. It's pretty power play basic, but anytime the Flyers score a goddamn power play goal, I'm gonna rave about it, and this is definitely no different. So let's bring this goal up, and it's also at that latter part of the period. You know, they always tell you, as a coach or as a player, you don't want to give up those goals at the end of a period. And you don't want to give them up in the very beginning of a period. Those are like soul-stealing, soul-crushing type goals. But let's pick up the play as the Flyers will enter the zone. They got Brink. Brink's here. He's going to kind of go in, come back out. He's going to set up in the slot as any good player would. Cates is going to bring the puck in, pull the defense down. Again, there's nothing magical about this setup. It's power play 101. But the Flyers do a good job getting into their positions. Cam York is going to take the puck out of the point. He's going to survey what he's got. Now watch Bobby Brink. He's back here by the net. He's going to flash up to kind of go high slot, sort of to try to draw the defense up with him, sort of open up some of this back here. And it kind of does work a little bit. As you can see, the defense, there they watch Brink. They're creeping up. Now Brink is going to set up in the high slot, but it really didn't work because you're supposed to try to draw this guy up too. He doesn't move, but you got a nice little thing going. You got opportunities out of the wings. You got somebody in the slot. You got a player down low. This screams right here of getting a puck on the net and trying to produce a rebound because of the way the Flyers are positioned, and more importantly, the way the Penguins are positioned on the PK. So the Flyers are going to, in kind, help the Penguins out and do just that. Zegras is going to look. He's going to put the puck on net. Now, you see the way he shot that puck, or it's a pass down low to Cates. Cates is then going to, again, survey kind of behind. He's going to throw a shot in. Bad rebound here for the Penguins. Bobby Brink is going to clean it up. Everyone crashed, and everyone's a pile of humanity in front of the net, and Brink goes far side for the kind of open net goal there. Flyers tie it up at 1 at the end part of the third period on the power play. Bobby Brink with the goal, his third of the year. In that period, the Flyers outshot the Penguins 10-8. Let's move play now to the second period, where the Flyers would pull ahead at the 2:46 mark of the period, connecting his second and 200th career goal as a Philadelphia Flyer. Let's bring it up. Oh, man, as I said, my kingdom for a producer. No. All right, so let's bring it up. All right, so pick up the play inside the Flyers zone as they're going to do some transition hockey here. Connecting kind of gets involved in there. Kind of gets the giveaway, forces the takeaway there. Flyers will then start out on the rush, trying to get an odd man rush. They do. And here we go. Going back the other way. Kind of a weird odd man rush, but the Flyers still get a 3-on kind of 1 or 4-on kind of 1, 4-on kind of 2. Connecting is going to take in. You got the Penguins back on their heels. Nice, solid wrist shot. Beat some short side. Nothing spectacular about that. Just a very clean, fast play by the Flyers, kind of taking advantage of some weird bounces by the puck. And Travis connecting his speed as he goes far side with the goal. His 200th of his Flyer career to give the Flyers that 2-1 early second period lead. Again, it was from Cates and Zegras. Zegras to have himself a hell of a start to the season and a hell of a start to his Flyers career here in the. I'm sorry, that was from Brink and Couturier. My bad. Couturier's 7th assist and Brink's 4th, and that would be all your scoring in that second period. For the period, the Flyers woefully outshot the Penguins 14-5. Could not break the game wide open, but Penguins hung in there. But 14-5 was the shot totals in that second period. On to the third, and here comes our old nemesis back to harm us again. Sidney Crosby at the 11:57 mark, his 8th from Hallander and Rust. The knotted all up at 2. And what can I say about Sidney Crosby that has not already been said? One of the happiest people in the world is going to be when he retires is me. Tired of seeing him just sort of kind of kill the Flyers game after game, season after season. And he gets the Penguins tied up in this game with this goal. So let's bring it up. All right. So inside the Flyers zone, there's Sidney Crosby down there again. For as much as I hate him, you got to give him the credit that he's due. You don't want him behind you. There's no place in the world that you can accept that you have Sidney Crosby standing behind you, and especially when you have 2 defenders out front. You got Sealer, you got Sanheim standing in front of Sidney Crosby. There's something wrong there. And again, Sanheim, not the most fleetest of defensemen out there. I know he's got a lot of people fooled. You're going to see his stellar defensive play on Spotlight here, but the Penguins are going to work it around the point. They're going to look for the open shot again. This is, again, Sidney Crosby 101 hockey. If I'm in the slot and I look up, I see number 87 standing at the goal mouth, I'm going to do whatever I can to get the puck on net because I'm going to try to create a rebound because I know who's standing down there. Sealer kind of flashed up to take the shot, leaving a mismatch down low between Sidney Crosby and Travis Sanheim. Never you want. No, it's just not going to work. Travis Sanheim is not the guy you want in this situation here. It's going to get sort of behind the net there. Now, Sanheim, what have we talked about on this show, folks? What have we talked about when it comes to playing defense in the National Hockey League? What in the hell are you doing going behind the net, Travis Sanheim? It looks like he realizes it, but he's already committed to going behind the net, so he's already out of position here. He's already out of position. He's already created a situation where Crosby either has an opportunity that he's going to take it himself, or he could potentially put it in front because now Steeler's going to have to at one point decide whether he's going to go and pick up Crosby and leave his guy free, because all because Travis Sanheim decided to kind of go behind the net, and it creates all kinds of chaos that will ensue here. And watch Crosby take it around the net. Steeler does decide to go after Crosby, and then just again, just a fluky goal that kicks in off Steeler and goes in. I hate goals like that. I really do. Even though Urson played somewhat solidly tonight, he gives up goals like this. Just makes your head spin, and especially a goal like that to Sidney Crosby. And there you got 2-2. Penguins tie it up around the midway point of the third period. Flyers then would there'll be no more scoring for the rest of this game in regulation. In the overtime period, you got some drama at 49 seconds. Trevor Zegras commits the slashing penalty for Crystal Tang. The Flyers kill it, and then the Flyers get an opportunity at the 3:14 mark when Malkin gets whistled for hooking Cates, which puts the Flyers up there on the power play. And then the Flyers go ahead and cash in overtime with the goal there to make it 3-2 to win this game. Now to go 5-3 on the season. Shots in that third period were 9-8 Penguins, and then shots in the overtime. Flyers only had 2 registered shots on net in the overtime, but they made them count as they go ahead and win 5-3. Flyers were 2 for 4 on the power play so far now this season, 6 for 29 on the power play. They're at 20%. Let's stay there. We're at 20% on the power play. Cannot believe, 9 games in, I'm saying the Flyers are at 20% on the power play. The Flyers killed off all 4 times shorthanded. Flyers are now 88.5% effective killing penalties. They blocked 14 more shots. They did give the puck away 15 more times and only took it away once. And but all in all, you can't really shake your head at this one. Hell of a win by the Flyers tonight. Hell of a gutsy win as they win in overtime. And that is it. There you go. Bobby Brink is finding his mojo. Yeah. Who scored for the Flyers? Wasn't it Mitchkov who scored in overtime? Is it Mitchkov, right? Let me see. That's what I thought it said. I got a goal for Mitchkov. Actually, I got some weird stuff going on right here on my box scores, but I got a goal for Mitchkov. Could be wrong. Who cares? Flyers win. That's all that matters. 3-2 is your final tonight in overtime. Flyers now they've gone to 11 points on the season, so that's great. They moved to double digits on the point board, and kind of slow down the red hot Penguins here at home and setting themselves up for, as we continue on with this sort of hard stretch of the season or the schedule. On Thursday night, the Flyers will be back against the Nashville Predators, and it will be Mike Laro on the call on Thursday, as I'll have you for Clear the Ice. I'll be back on Saturday as the Flyers will battle the Leafs, and then Mike will have you on Sunday against the Calgary Flames. But tonight, all is well in the Flyer world. 3-2 overtime. Still actually solid game. Again, some of the things that have resonated with me so far to start this season has been the influence of Rick Tocchet. I know there's been some disgruntlement about some of the dump and chase stuff offensively, and I know there's been a lot of that. I get you. The Flyers are not necessarily a dump and chase sort of team. Dump and chase is not really something that we do anymore in the NHL to begin with. But the Flyers also are not a possession team. They're not a finesse team. They're not a team that's going to do a lot of tape-to-tape passes. They really are kind of weak with carrying the puck. They're very weak when it comes to giving the puck away. They're terrible at that. So dump and chase seems to be the lesser of two evils here for the Flyers to ensure that they can at least get the puck in the zone. I know that there's, over the last 2 seasons, their giveaways are out of control. I think they were averaging close to 20 last year a game. This year they're up around 15 or 16. So the dump and chase offensive style, even though it's not necessarily fits their mold of player, it's still the lesser of two evils when you ask me. But where I'm really definitely seeing the change in philosophy is on the defense. Next time the Flyers play, sit down and watch them. Defensively, they're all about trying to push that play away from the net. And I love that. I absolutely love that. The Flyers get killed down low. They absolutely do. But Tocchet has really made an effort to try to change the defensive philosophy, to push things out wide. Now, you saw tonight, some of that didn't work when it came to giving up some soft goals, but I'm 100% on board with that defensive philosophy, and it's working well for the Flyers, and especially with the type of defenders the Flyers have. Again, they're not going to win many battles down low the way their players are. You saw Travis Sanheim all confused about whether to go around the net or not. That's not the defense that the Flyers should be playing. So pushing people out wide, relying on your goaltending to make the save, cover the rebound, or clear the rebound, I'm 100% on board with. So you can definitely see the Rick Tocchet influence starting to kick in with this team right now. Offensively, they are what they are. They're a 3-goal average team around that level, and that's not going to get much better. It might get worse, but it's not going to get much better because they just are not that type of offensive team. Even when the players like Mitch Koff begin to sort of pick it up, but I like the style of play, and I like the energy of this hockey team right now. As we're taking this thing one game at a time, in one period at a time, in one shift at a time. We're not looking far. We're not looking far out at all for any of this stuff. Did the Flyers win the face-off battle? Did they win the face-off battle? I don't really care about that stuff. They did 51-48. So they did win the face-off battle against the Penguins, Joe. But I don't really look at that stuff. I don't look at that crap, man. Look at the stats that matter to me. Power play, penalty kill, giveaways, takeaways, block shots. That's to me what the stats matter. But Flyers did win the face-off battle tonight, 51-48. So great win as the Flyers come back from an early deficit and a soft early goal that could have really sent the Flyers down a rabbit hole, but it did not. Sam Ersson sort of pulled it together, had himself a solid game, but he's not your starter. And if Dan Vladar falters at some point, I expect to see him back in the net on Thursday, but for some reason, Vladar can't handle the burden of being your de facto starter, then we got problems because Ersson is not the guy. Ersson's a spot guy. He's a backup. He's a 25-game guy. And is Vladar a 60-game guy? We'll see. We'll see if that's what he can be because the Flyers are going to need that. But all in all, tonight, good win. 5-3-1 now on the season are the Flyers, 411 points. And Thursday night, they will lace it up against the Nashville Predators at home. We'll have you covered. Mike Laro will be in on the call, and then I'll be back over the weekend against the Maple Leafs. So remember what we got coming up on the network for the rest of this week. Tomorrow night, you got the Pittsburgh Sports Desk and me, Matty B, the final word. Tomorrow, Thursday night, the Gridiron Weekly, Flyers and Predators, me again, and then the rest of the week here on the network. And make sure you're tuning in, checking us out. Light week this week. No Eagles. No Eagles football. So throws it all off. But we'll talk again later. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Take care. Go Flyers. And as Gene Hart, in the immortal words of Mr. Gene Hart, the immortal words of Mr. Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.